citizens of America.
On January 20th, 2017, a cold and windy Friday, the world watched the inauguration in Washington, D.C. of the newest and most contested U.S. president in history.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
At the same time, less than an hour away by plane, in the Canadian city of Toronto, a small group of concerned residents gathered in front of the U.S. Consulate. Here, on University Avenue, which is one of the city's major thoroughfares, hospitals, courthouses, and the legislature line the street. Easily outnumbered by a uniformed and plainclothes police force, the protesters' signs summed up their grim realization that they were now in the hands of a man who promised to turn back the clock to an era with fewer guarantees of equal rights, a greater likelihood of armed conflict, and a lack of concern for the planet's well-being. Without exception, the demonstrators expressed the importance of speaking their minds, sharing their views with others, and supporting a democratic society. The next day,
ready to ride?
Their voices would come together in a much larger event, the historic Women's March in Washington.
It's been a heart-rending time to be both a woman and an immigrant in this country.
But for now, this was officially day one of anti-President Trump actions springing up across the world.
I'm here today because I want to show my solidarity with the Americans who weren't too happy about Trump being president. I'm part American. I have American citizenship, so I feel for them, considering the circumstances.
Donald Trump thinks he's above the law and thinks he needs to be accountable to the law of America.
Today is the day that, Trump get into the power to be a president of America. And I found that it's not right. So I'm here to show my support, solidarity with the American friend
All the way.
to oppose that policy.
What is wrong with Donald Trump? Why are you opposed to him?
Everybody knows what is wrong with him during the campaign. Look at his word toward the woman, toward the environment, toward many things. And I found that is terrible.
And the reason I'm here today is I believe that democracy goes beyond the vote. We need to be able to work within elections, in between those dates, to express our views, to hear from our leaders, and our leaders to hear from us.
I just don't think that Trump is really the best person for the job.
Why not?
Well, he's grossly incompetent. You can say anything you want about him as a businessman, but he has no experience being a politician. He can run a good campaign, perhaps, but in terms of the actual work that comes with being president, I don't think he really understands the gravity of that. I think that his temperament is incredibly wrong for the job. He just seems to be acting incredibly childish and intolerant, and considering the picks that he has for his cabinet positions, such as Rick Perry for Secretary of Energy or Ben Carson for HUD, Betsy DeVos for Secretary of Education, I'm just not pleased with what I'm seeing there.
What concerns me is all the people that he's picking for his cabinet that are open opposers to a lot of real issues like climate change and people in agriculture who support the use of pesticides and GMOs and are actively fighting against the common man's interest. That scares me because he's a powerful person in himself, but with a bunch of other really powerful rich people behind him, it makes it a lot more scary.
We've seen that many of the picks that have been chosen have basically amounted to to a cabinet with the highest wealth from people. There have been a lot of billionaires and businessmen. So considering that we've had this recent recession and the economy is constantly a great concern for many people, I don't think that these choices that Trump is going to make or the policies that he's going to push through are essentially going to help the people that got him elected.
What can people do about it now?
Well, we just have to keep making our voices heard. We just have to acknowledge that this is the reality that we face, and that we are not simply going to accept it. We have to keep making it evident that these choices that he's making, that these moves that he are making, that his conduct is not the appropriate one, and that if he wants to represent the people, all of the people, not just the ones that got him into the office, but all Americans, then he has to shape up.
At 70 years of age, imagine mocking a disabled reporter. That's high school talk. That man has not developed mentally. Or does he not care about ordinary people, especially the disabled? That was shameful. That's when I started saying to myself, I've got to think about this man and what he's doing, because that's the worst thing you can do in my mind. But it got worse and worse as the election went along. The kinds of things he said about ordinary people. People who are bigots and racist may have other issues in their life, their own personal problems. But don't spread that across society. Don't be a bully. Don't beat a stranger up in the street because you don't like the way he looks.
If you are going to be in this position of political power, you need to understand what that power entails. You need to understand the very intricate details behind that.
Government's about the underprivileged. That's why we have government, to keep society civil and to keep it peaceful and to help the people cannot help themselves.
It's like it just begins now. This is just the start of a kind of big question mark. So it's just important that we do what we can and we stay vigilant of what's going on.
It's going to be a sad time, I think. We have to be cautious.
And what do you hope to achieve today?
Just to get the message out that democracy means speaking out peacefully, voicing your opinion. Democracy means that politicians need to listen between the elections, not just when they knock on your door at the time that they want your vote. And I'm also here to tell the world that Donald Trump, like every ordinary citizen in America, is not above the law. He needs to abide by the laws of America, and he's not doing that in many sectors.
Are you concerned about what the future holds?
I think it's not going to be a serious problem because he'll be elected for 4 years or impeached in 2 years, perhaps. There's many reasons to impeach a person like that.
That's why I'm here. I'm hoping that he's impeached in the next couple months. You know, look at my sign. He's a tax evader. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He's divisive, demagogue. Like, I could go on and on. He's mean-spirited, he's petty. I can't think of one positive thing to say about Donald Trump.
I don't know if he will be impeached. I don't know what will happen, but I think it's going to be a stormy 3 or 4 years. And I'm hoping things, people organize, protest, and they will push back against his agenda.
And I'm fearful for Canada as well. I feel that there's a movement here. Kelly Leach and Kevin O'Leary are Donald Trump wannabes. And, they're stirring up the same kind of hatred and divisiveness here in Canada.
No, he's not Donald Trump. He is Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, and he just made a big announcement. So joining me now is Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, thank you for joining us. Are you the Trump of Canada?
Yeah, so there are implications for us in Canada with Trump's presidency, such as the fact that his attacks on ethnic minorities, the general xenophobia, is having an echo, certainly in right-wing circles in Canada within the Federal Conservative Party, the race to become the new leader there. So anything that gives Trump encouragement is bad for us in Canada, I think, and that's one of the reasons why we should be taking note of what's going on in the States and protesting.
What do you think the worst thing is that could happen?
I think a war everywhere. He's a warlord. I, really worry, but we're not afraid.
Enough people feel the same way, that in that sense there is power there.
Easy. We want to. People love each other, especially me. I always teach the children love. You can win everything if you treat people with love.
Did you draw that?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it? So you've got some drawings there.
Yeah.
You've got a cat.
And then he called us a pussy cat, pussy. So I said, there's a pussy. But pussy had a weapon too. You see that? We know how to use it. If we knew that, his hand is so little. Yeah, so that's right. And I think that this is what I said, that's the pushing power. We know how to move it.
I like to shoot on film, and I thought that I'd like to get some photos because it's important to capture these moments, and this is a moment in history, and it's happening all over the world.
Yeah. What do you hope to achieve today?
I hope that the American, Canadian people, open their eye, ear, and speak up.
Today is a very important day. It is the Inauguration Day. So essentially, now that Trump is absolutely the president, this is the point that we've gotten to. Well, here are my concerns, Mr. President.